Welcome back to another episode of the Student Athlete Sessions. Today we are joined by Yuuki Okubo, former men's basketball player at Oberlin College. Yuuki, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really great to be here for this opportunity, and I appreciate what you're doing for the D3 community.
Yes, yes. And it's been an episode we've been working on for a while. Yuuki is just landed overseas recently to start his pro basketball career. How about you just walk the listeners through kind of where you are at the moment, what you've been up to lately?
For sure. Right now, we just started our official season. We just finished our second week. Starting September, we had a whole month of preseason. We play every weekend in Japan, the BLeague. How it works is you play back-to-back Saturday, Sundays, and then they'll throw in a Wednesday game here and then. So this past weekend, we just played. We actually won both of our Saturday, Sunday games. I just got back last night. Today's our off day, and then we're back on the road tomorrow for an away game Wednesday, and then we're back home Saturday, Sunday. So it's kind of a hectic schedule, but I'm really getting used to it. It's honestly just fun playing, and yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's been fun to follow your progress so far. Uh, Playing for
Appreciate
the
it.
Fukushima Firebonds, that's correct, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for those who have been listening to this podcast for a while, we had another B League player on a while back, Max Hisatake, who played at Illinois Tech D3, and
Hmm.
I believe is still over there um, playing at a high level. But yeah, it'll be fun. Maybe if you two match up at some point.
I
And
think it's crazy you say that. I think we play him tomorrow or in 2 days.
there you go.
We play him Wednesday for sure. He's on the Almori Watts, and yeah, we're going over there tomorrow. So I'll
Gotcha.
see him. I'll see him in a couple days. Yeah, for sure.
There we go. Shout out Max. So,
Yeah.
how does a road trip? You went to Oberlin, which is in Ohio. For those who aren't familiar, you were
Hmm.
traveling around in the I believe it's the NCAC
Yep.
conference. So, how
Hmm.
does a team road trip in Japan compare to a team road trip in Ohio?
It has some similarities. In Ohio, we were mostly taking the bus, just couple hours. Probably our furthest was in Indiana, Wabash, DePaul. Those were like the 5 hour road trips where we stay overnight. Here, it really kind of depends. If we're close, we'll take a bus. We'll take the bullet train. That's really convenient. Sometimes we'll take the bullet train and the bus. This past weekend, we took a bus and a flight. So it kind of really just depends on the location. But um, in terms of the whole entire trip, like I said, we go the whole weekend. So we, unlike Oberlin, where you just pack for a night or you're going there and back in the same day, you kind of have to pack and have everything you need for the whole weekend. We usually leave Friday night, Friday afternoon, get there Friday night, play Saturday, Sunday, and then right after the game on Sunday, we're right back. So in a sense, it's kind of similar because on Sunday you play, you come right back. At Oberlin, we play, we come right back. Um, but yeah, it's honestly a lot. Like I'm not used to playing back to back games that often. At Oberlin, it was just we play one game, we come right back, got a couple days to rest, one game, and that's it. But the Sunday games, you start to feel it sometimes. But
Yeah. What's
yeah, for
what's
sure,
that process been like to adjust? Do you have guys on your team that you can lean on a little bit to learn from, or you know,
for
that
sure.
are hitting recovery in between games, or what's
Yeah,
that been
yeah,
like?
yeah. We're a pretty young team, but we have like a few vets. We have a bunch of guys that's played multiple years, and honestly, in the beginning, I was just learning like really how to be a pro and how to take all the time to like get your body what it needs, take recovery days, and like go hard when you need to go hard, but then when you need to rest, you rest, So just learning that, learning from like we have 30, 32 year, 34-year-olds on our team where they need a little bit more recovery. So just learning from them and seeing what they do and being like, damn, I'm still young, I can still do this, but it is important to take all of these pre-game, post-game recovery steps. But yeah, just really learning from the vets and just watching, not necessarily like copying what they do, but just watching and just taking notes, and you know what I mean. Damn, they're doing all this stuff. They're using their icing. They're getting recovery, getting treatment, getting massages, and then just like I need to start doing the same thing. Whereas Oberlin, I didn't really like personally. I wasn't really in the training room a lot. I was just like, I'm playing. I feel fine. Like I'm not hurt. I'll just go home. I'll rest. But I wasn't. I really wasn't like taking advantage of the training room, which now I understand that like it's really important and you have to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost
yeah,
as important as like the training itself. If your body can't go for that back to back, I'm sure,
for sure,
you want to be available for both games, but
for sure.
yeah. I mean, you're no stranger to playing heavy minutes at Oberlin. You came in as a freshman and started uh, every single game. Pretty much did that your whole career. Averaged almost 30 over 30 minutes a game on average for
Mm-hmm.
your whole career. So you're kind of used to this. But again, like you said, a little different at the pro level, playing 2 nights in a
For
row
sure,
instead of
for sure,
just having a day off maybe afterwards.
for
So.
sure.
Um, yeah. How have you felt like your game has translated initially at the pro level, like at Oberlin, just so people have context? Yuki was a very like classic pure point guard for basketball. So he was the program's all-time leader in assists with 510, which is a lot. Averaged over 6 assists a game. Did it, could score as well. Averaged over 11 his senior year. So how is your game translated to the pro level from D3?
I feel like you said at Oberlin, I was playing a lot. I had the ball in my hands for the majority of the game, so I really got comfortable just controlling the offense, getting myself in the pick and roll, knowing when to be aggressive, knowing when to let my teammates eat. And then now that I come over in Japan, I'm not necessarily the guy that has the ball in the hands the entire game. We have um, ex NBA dudes, like you know what I mean. We have vets that can do all that stuff. So now I'm like finding the balance of like when to just run the floor, when to spot up, and then when to use my reads in the pick and roll. Um, but I just feel like out here I'm not, like I said, I'm not on the ball as much. So I'm getting used to playing off ball a little bit, and then it's not as much pressure on me to do everything all at once just because we have so many talented guys on the floor. So yeah, just picking and choosing when to go. That's just like really been my thing. And then when my name gets called, just being ready and taking that opportunity and just going with it. You know what I mean? I'm not playing 30 minutes this season right now. I'm maybe playing 10 to 20 minutes somewhere in there. So whenever I'm in, I'm just going all out. I don't have to conserve my energy or anything. Um, but yeah, I feel like that's where my game's at right now.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something fun about that too. Just like kind of taking on a different role, like you said, being able to
For
go
sure.
all out instead of when you're playing 30 minutes a game, you do have to be very conscious of like how to conserve yourself for the whole contest.
For
So
sure. I feel like defensively, especially like at Oberlin, I knew like I'm confident obviously in my defensive abilities, and um but there were just times where it's like it's not worth it to me because I know I have to play 20 minutes in the second half or 18 minutes in the second half to just go all out, whereas now like we're picking up full every possession, and I can go all out full like all 94, you know what I mean? And I don't have to worry about damn, I have to wait till the second half to, you know what I mean, pick it up. But
yeah,
yeah, it's a different role, honestly, and I've been enjoying it so far. So yeah,
good, good. We're gonna circle
for
back to your
sure.
pro career uh, later on in the pod here, but I want to get to we always try to go through with each player that comes on here because this podcast is really about helping future student athletes by sharing the
Hmm.
stories of people like yourself who have done it, who have played a sport at the D3 level. So I think the first question really is just how does uh, a basketball player from Los Angeles, California, you went to Crossroads High School out there. How do you end up at a school in Ohio? What does that recruiting process look like for you?
For me, I wasn't really highly recruited, like at all, honestly. And then my senior year or junior senior year, I started getting some D3 interests, and I knew that was for personally that was like the best path for me. I knew long term I wanted to play in Japan, and but also wanted to get a good education. And Oberlin and a few other schools like Lewis and Clark. I remember George Fox, some West Coast schools I was talking to, but ultimately, um, it was I think it was the summer before my senior year. One of the assistant coaches, shout out my guy Jalen, he watched me play at the Section 7 showcase in Arizona. Um, and I remember after that, after going into my senior year, I knew I had to get my recruiting process going. So I was just reaching out to schools, sending emails, sending probably hundreds of emails. And Oberlin was one of the few schools that reached back to me and was like, "Hey, we actually watched you play. We'd love to take this another step." And then from there, just communicating like almost every week. And then I took a visit. And yeah, that was just, but COVID hit, so it was kind of like a weird time in 2020. I ended up taking a gap year, but that was kind of like the gist of the recruiting process. It was early my senior year, sending out, reaching out, being proactive myself, because I knew I couldn't wait. You know what I mean? Like you have to be proactive and you have to start reaching out yourself if you're not highly recruited. So that's what I did.
Definitely. What was it on the visit that to Oberlin that was a standout for you? And maybe it was weird because it was COVID and you couldn't really do the normal stuff, but just curious about that.
Yeah, well, I actually knew a former teammate that was already there. So it was already kind of nice going to Ohio and then just meeting with him. I've known him since middle school, and he kind of just showed me around a little bit. And I honestly liked the vibe of just like how different it was than LA, like just over in Ohio. Ohio in general is just such a different state than Cali, but it was just so peaceful. It was slow paced. Um, I don't know. It was just like it was quiet, and I feel like LA is just such a fast paced, just hectic city, and Oberlin I could just really slow down, lock in, and just like really live low key. And I feel like that's what I was drawn to, honestly.
Mhm. And it seems like, all things considered, again, we already kind of touched on your career at Oberlin, but seems like it was a great fit. You know, you were a multi-time all league. Again, that's the NCAC honoree. You earned all district honors, and you guys really did well on the court, I feel like. So, you know, can't fault you at all for the choice, and it seems like it pulled
Mhm.
out. But is there anything after your career, kind of reflecting on it, that you look back and say, "Wow, like this was really the right decision for this reason"?
For sure. I feel like when I first got there, or the year before me, I think they made the playoffs and they were a really good team. But after COVID, um, I think we had like one or two returners, and everybody else was new. And honestly, it was a fun year, but we just didn't really win a bunch of games. I think we went 6-18, something like that. Um, and then we had a coaching change. And then that followed my sophomore year, we were like 8-14, something like that still. And then junior senior year, we were almost 500, if not better than 500. Um, but I feel like just to be a part of that change in Oberlin basketball, where when I first got there, we just weren't really a team that was winning games. Nobody thought we were really good or winning. And then my senior year, it was like, okay, you kind of have to respect this now. And I feel like it's just going up from there. And that's credit to like our guys, but also the coaching staff, Shiva, Nate. They're doing a great job. And I feel like I left it at a place where like if you play Oberlin, it's not an easy win. You know what I mean? Like it's not an upset. We're not the underdogs like that anymore. So I feel like just being able to be a part of that change was like a memorable um, experience in 4 years for sure.
Yeah, that's something you can always look back on and kind of hold, especially as you said, the program continues to rise up from being kind of the bottom dweller in the league to,
For
like you
sure.
said, now a threat in every game. And um, what was it like to navigate a coaching change after your freshman year? I mean, you got recruited by one coach, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, it seemed like Coach Shiva's done a great job there. And as you mentioned, the program's on the rise, but still, what was that adjustment like as going from freshman to sophomore year?
For sure. At first it was hard because, like you said, it was the coaching staff that recruited me and believed in me. They, Coach Kabako, Coach Jalen, they played me. They started me as a freshman. They trusted me, and they really gave me an opportunity. So at first it was really hard, just knowing that, damn, like the guys that gave me an opportunity are gone. But then when Shiva and Nate came in, it was just they honestly just changed the culture. They changed the belief inside, which like before it was like, damn, like Oberlin basketball is like, we could win. It's like, oh, if we lose, oh well. But nah, now it's like, damn, like in our heads we're supposed to be winning. Like this, like we're not, like I said, we're not the underdogs. Like if we lose, it's like, damn, like we shouldn't be losing like this. This shouldn't be happening. Um, and once they came in, changed the culture, changed our mindsets. They trusted in us, we trusted them, and then it was uphill from there, honestly. And yeah, there's no looking back, no complaints, and I love what they're doing. I feel like they're such a great coaching staff. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And and then taking on to the next level. You mentioned you always had this dream of playing in Japan. Um, I think for people who would just look at the roster and see your bio 5'8", 145, like they're going to look at that and probably doubt you and that belief in yourself that you could go play pro. Why did you always want that, and what did you do throughout your career to work towards that goal?
I feel like um the first part of the question where I always knew that I wanted to go play because first I am Japanese, but I've never lived in Japan. And I knew that since once I get my Japanese passport, I am a Japanese citizen and I can play as a local because in the BLeague, you only get, I think it's three foreign contracts, and they're mainly used on ex NBA, high major D1, ex or other overseas pro dudes. And for me, I'm not really competing with that. But as a local, I feel 100% I could compete with that, and I feel like it'd be dope to just live in my home country that I've never lived in, and yeah, that was just always a dream, and I feel like that was like a realistic dream that I could always pursue. Um, but my mindset, I mean, ever since middle school, I was probably like 5'4", 5'5", and they were like, everyone was telling me, yeah, you're probably not making varsity, whatever. And I made varsity. I was starting some games, you know what I mean? And just my confidence was just building over time of like, obviously I had doubts because everybody else was telling me like, yeah, you're probably not. But then, yeah, I got freshman year at Crossroads. We were a great team. We had multiple D1 guys, and I was starting some games. And then I got to college. I ended up starting, I think, every game, and then just like realizing like, damn, I could do this. And then now coming here, um, not really sure if I was getting minutes or not, and now I'm like getting pretty solid minutes. So just like really, my confidence was just like growing, and just realizing like I've done it before, like, and I can do it. Nobody can't like, and like people can't tell me anything. Like just knowing, believing in myself, and that's really what got me here, I think.
We're in an era where anyone and everyone can comment or share their opinion, even if it's unsolicited. And I think to your point, there is something really valuable, and this goes for any sport, but just going out there and playing against good competition and then
Mm-hmm.
getting that feedback for yourself. Like go
For
seek
sure.
context by playing with the best. And if you're playing with, you know, a lot of D1 talent on the court and you're able to hold your own and get out there, I think, as you pointed out, you build that self-belief, and it's a great message for any young athletes. Like, don't doubt what you can do based on the opinions of people who, I would assume in your case, probably had not played professional basketball, and yet they're
Right.
sharing this doubt on what you can accomplish.
100%. Like even in high school, like I feel like our team. I mean, we had Sharif, we had Ira. He went to Arizona. Reef, and then like we had so much media attention, and there were just so many like YouTube comments, just Instagram comments of just people hating. I mean, for I don't know why, but just like just really just haters. You know what I mean? And then like at first, yeah, it was getting to me, but then you just realize like they haven't been in the shoes like that we have. So like how can they really tell us? Um, and then yeah, just using that as like fuel to your fire, and then just every game, just like you got a chip on your shoulder, especially for me, just like got something to prove. I just want to show people that like I belong, and it's just not like I'm just, you know what I mean, that I'm just here. Like I'm really like I earned my spot to be here. Like
Yeah,
just trying to prove that point. So yeah,
right. Yeah,
for sure.
a quote I love is, "Don't take directions from people who haven't been there." You know,
Yeah, nah, for
they,
sure, 100%.
yep. So
They don't know what it's like.
they they don't.
They
So
don't.
um, you you close out your senior year at Oberlin, and you have this dream to play in Japan. You have the knowledge that, if you get citizenship, it's really going to help you out.
Hmm.
Um, what process look like to hire an agent? Oberlin has had 5 players since 2012 sign pro contracts, including 3 in the past 3 seasons. So, were you able to draw on their experience, of your teammates, or what did that process look like for you?
So after I would say probably like my sophomore year of college. Um, I've been in contact with a couple agent like Japanese agents. And that was like, yeah, we're just having conversations, just knowing that my ultimate goal is to play in the BLeague. But it wasn't until after my senior year where I started taking the conversations really serious and being like, okay, what should I do now? So um the agent I have right now was actually introduced to me by a former trainer that I had in LA, and he's a Japanese guy, great guy. And he offered to take me in, work together. And during my spring break, I went to Japan and I visited a couple teams just to see how like what just to see how Japanese basketball was, how the teams out there worked. Because I really had no idea of like how the style of play or how really basketball worked out there because I've just never played out there before. Um, so spring break, I kind of took visits, and then talking to managers, talking to some of the players out there, and then after that trip, the Firebonds, my agent sent me a connection with their GM, and yeah, we talked with my GM, my coach, and then my agent. Had a great conversation, and then yeah, and then it was on from there.
Went from there.
Honestly, it went from there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It was hard, but it was honestly pretty simple, like a simple process. Just
right.
kind of yeah,
I mean, I think 2 things you did were really smart. One, use your local network. So, talking to your trainer who was able to give you like a personal word of recommendation,
for sure,
I think is so important, especially just for any current D3 athletes who are trying to, follow in Yuki's footsteps and play pro. Like, there are some bad actors in the space, but
hmm,
there are a lot of good actors, and it helps to have that recommendation from someone you trust before you sign a contract. And then I think just getting
for
over there
sure.
and seeing it in person was smart. Like,
Yeah,
anything, yeah,
no, that was like I think that was one of the best things I did. I honestly didn't want to because I had planned a Europe trip with my senior boys, and we were all supposed to go. But then last minute, I was presented this opportunity. And I was like, "Damn, I really want to go on this trip with them." But I feel like for my career, my future, like just this is something I had to do. And so yeah, I just came, and that was like I just learned a lot, just like knowing how stuff worked. And I would definitely recommend like to anybody that wants to go like overseas or any country, just to like go out there if you can, see how it is, like really make connections. And I feel like connections are just like the most important thing in pro sports.
Definitely. And it's something else we've heard too as a common refrain from people who are playing abroad. And we talked about this with our last guest, John DiBartolomeo, who's played at Rochester and is in Israel now. But it's just the difficulty sometimes in adjusting to a new country. So I think definitely seeing it first and kind of visiting and saying, all right, could I live here is a
Right.
good first step. But what's that adjustment process been like for you? We talked about what it's been like on the playing side, but
Hmm.
how's it been to live in Fukushima and just be in Japan?
Honestly, I like now I've been here since July. That's probably a couple months. I'm very used to it now. I'm like blessed that I can speak Japanese. Like I realize my Japanese isn't as good as I thought, but I can get by. So that's honestly just been like it makes everything easier when you can speak the language, you know what I mean? But there are just some like little rules that I just had to get used to. Like some random examples are just like the trash rules in Japan are just like super weird, super strict. And just like little adjustments that I had to get used to. But other than that, I feel like it's just like I really can't complain about anything. Like I feel like I'm living the dream life. Like I just have to play basketball, and that like I don't have any class, I don't have homework. Um, I just play basketball, recover, and then in my free time, I'm just chilling. So the adjustments honestly been pretty easy. Yeah, like I really can't complain. I have no complaints, honestly.
What are the trash rules in Japan?
Well, right now it's like every day is like a different type of trash. It's like Tuesday and Wednesday are trash you can burn. Thursday is like recycle, but the recycle you have to take off the caps and labels of the plastic bottles, and then those go in separate trash cans. Like Wednesdays, a completely different trash. So I have like three trash cans in my kitchen right now. One for like regular trash, one for the literal bottles, and then one's for the bottle caps and the bottle labels. And you have to like separate all of them, and they all go on different days. So it's just like at first I'm like, damn, like this is like what are we doing here? But you know, you get used to it. Honestly,
Yeah,
it is what it is. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and did your team? I know it's common for a lot of teams to set up players with apartments or like try
Hmm.
to ease that transition. Was your team able to do that for you, or what are some other things they've been able to do to ease the transition?
For me, I feel like I mean everybody's contract's different. I feel like the my contract, I'm on like a regular rookie contract. I had to find my own apartment. They helped me with my move in and transition, so they paid for my flight and everything that costs to move in, and to move. But other than that, like I was really just on my own. Luckily, I had my parents. Like I couldn't really do anything myself because my Japanese, like I said, isn't as good. So they helped me set up apartment, like everything I needed in my apartment, like car, insurance, all that type of paperwork. They were able to help me, but um, yeah, I know somewhat like I said, everybody's contract is different. I know some foreign guys they get a car, they get an apartment, but it really just depends. But yeah,
Nice.
for me, it was just the help with the flight and then the moving costs. But everything else, um, it's on me. And I feel like as a local, that's pretty common as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you sharing that because I think a lot of things, about the pro process are just a little bit opaque, and
Hmm.
I think it is important for people who come after you to hear the details of like what that entails, and that it is
For
very
sure.
different. As I mentioned John already in our last conversation, but he kind of had a tricky first contract where he signed a 3-year deal, but then
Hmm.
the team after 2 years, didn't even end up paying him for those 2 years that he played.
Damn.
And so it's like
Damn.
I think hearing the reality, and as you just shared, like sometimes imports get an apartment. If you're on a local deal, you might not get one. Like I think
For
those are
sure.
important things to know just so you can be like as informed as possible going into the process.
No, 100%. It really just depends, like, on your contract, who you are. Like, are you a first year? Are you a 10-year vet? Are you an import? Are you know what I mean? Like everybody's different. So, yeah, you kind of just have to adjust.
Nice. Hey,
Yeah,
and now you got the apartment, so you couldn't go on
for
the Euro
sure.
trip with your teammates, but they can come visit you now in Japan and have a totally
100%.
different trip.
I'm waiting on them. I'm really
All
waiting.
right.
So,
Gauntlet's been
yeah,
dropped for Yuki's teammates at Oberlin to get out there
for
and watch him
sure.
play.
For
So,
sure. They're welcome anytime.
right. Um, just maybe next steps like career goals. Obviously, you said you've been getting some time, 10, 20 minutes a game. Like you have, what has it been like to accomplish this goal that you had since you were in middle school, and like, and where do you want to go next? What is the next target?
Honestly, it's really just like a blessing, like a huge blessing. And I'm just like, it still like hasn't sank, like, you know what I mean? It's not, I can't, it's really hard to believe that like, just like I'm a pro now and like I could call myself a pro and just like my life is literally like my job is to play basketball and that hasn't settled in yet. Um, and I feel like I'm just like still in like the grateful process. Like I'm always grateful, but just like blessed to just be here and just be in this position. And yeah, it's been great. For my goals, I feel like obviously I want to play as long as I can play. Right now I'm like getting rotation minutes, but next few years I do want to be in a starting position, like leading a team, just getting a bigger role. But yeah, for now, just like whatever my team needs me, whatever coaches need me to do to win, like I'm here for it, and I'm all in. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, honestly.
Yeah. Well, in terms of career longevity, you could always hit up another D3 guy who played in Japan for a while, Jeff Gibbs, who went to
Yeah.
Otterbein, and
Oh
he
damn.
played he
Okay.
played. He's 45. I'd have to check if he is now done. Oh no, he just retired, but he had been playing the B League. He graduated from college in 2004, so
Damn.
20-year pro career and pretty beloved. He was 6'2" and played center
Oh,
in
I think I've heard of him. He
yeah,
retired last year, right?
that's right.
He went to Otterbein?
Yeah,
Oh, damn. I had no idea.
yeah. So
Nah, I've heard of
you'll
him.
have to hit him up.
Nah, for sure. Damn, 45? That's actually insane.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
he's the model for longevity, and
Longevity.
he was pretty beloved in the B League, I believe. So
Nah, for sure. For sure. I knew he was like the crazy, like undersized big that was just like huge vet, like been in the league for so long. And it's like,
yeah,
damn, being 6'2", that's insane. That's actually
yeah.
insane.
He's a load though in the post. Don't doubt him.
I bet. I mean, if he's
Don't judge a
playing,
book by its cover.
yeah, no, if he's playing that long, like he has to be for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up here. We're gonna ask you the question we ask every guest. If you could go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
My 18-year-old self, I would tell him that um I would tell him that like the journey's long and don't get tripped up over like little things, little obstacles that you're gonna face when you're that age. I mean, I'm still young, but especially being like 17, 18 years old, there's just gonna be so many learning curves that you're just gonna get hit with. But at the end of the day, in the long run, like all those little obstacles aren't gonna matter if you just keep going and just keep persevering through all of that. And if you don't stop, I feel like you'll get to the end of the road at some point. So just um, always believe in yourself. Um, take what you have and just don't stop. Like just keep going. Like whatever it is, keep going. I still talk to myself that like almost every day. It's like there's gonna be bad days. You're gonna have like things like learning curves, like I said, but you just got to keep going. You got to take the hits and just keep going. So, yeah, I feel like that's my message.
Beautifully said. Great place to end it.
I appreciate
Um,
it.
if people want to find out more or follow along, are the games being streamed YouTube anywhere? Is there a site people can watch?
Yeah, so it's weird because the site's called Basket Live and it is streamed every day, but I think in the States you need a VPN, unfortunately, and you need I mean the subscription to Basket Live is like 550 yen, which is probably like $3. But I think you do need a VPN. But if you're willing to do all that, it's on Basket Live, every game streamed. There might be some times where the highlights are on YouTube, but it's most Basket Live is where it's at. So
Nice. Yeah.
yes, sir.
Well, we've been following along on your Instagram _ YWK1, which has been
Yep.
fun to see the highlights. And,
Yep.
you know, a lot of fans from Japan are posting clips from games and stuff. So definitely follow along there. Anyone you want to shout out just to close things out?
Damn. I feel like I gotta shout out like my whole team at Oberlin, the coaching staff, the seniors, Masan Will, AG, like, and then I guess ZB too. He was in our class, but the 4 or 5 dudes that like just started my Oberlin journey with, and then we stuck it all the way through ups and downs, losing seasons. Give a shout out to them, and then the coaching staff at Oberlin just let me allow to be who I am, you know what I mean, and just grow as a person. So shout out to them. And now obviously shout out my team now, shout out parents. I could go on, but I keep it there for now.
Keep it there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Student Athlete Sessions. You can listen to previous episodes on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And Yuuki, just want to say thanks for taking the time. I know we're talking on a 15-hour time difference, and you talked about the busy pro schedule at the start. So really appreciate you making the time.
It's all good. I appreciate you having me and just giving me the opportunity to like talk. And yeah, it's been great. I love what you're doing. 100%.
All right. Well, thanks, man. And we look forward to watching to see how your pro career, the next 20 years of your pro career go.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that's love.
All right. Be well,
Yep.
Yuuki. Talk soon.
I appreciate it. Yep.